Welcome, Mrs. McCreary. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. So you're here because you wanted to discuss Sophie's test score?
Yes. I just wasn't sure about how the scoring was working, so I wanted to see if you could just explain it to me a little more.
Yes, of course. So basically this test is the National Achievement Test, and it's a test over what Sophie has learned throughout the whole year based on the curriculum. And she actually took this test. These are her scores for the test she took in March of 2015. So this just basically breaks down Sophie's scores to show you how she's doing in each skill area. And I want to remind you that this is just a snapshot of her learning. It's not the whole story of how she's doing. It's just like a piece of the puzzle.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and look at this score chart. This top section right here is called the norm reference group.
And what does that mean?
That's a good question. A norm group is like a group of, say, 100 students where they're chosen to take the test before it's released to the public. And these scores are taken and they're used to compare to our students' scores.
Okay.
So the bottom section here is, this chart is called the criteria reference, and it gives more information on the scores of the specific skills that are tested.
Okay.
Do you have any questions so far? I know this is kind of a long.
No, I think I'm getting it.
Okay.
So we can keep going.
Okay. So let's start with the norm reference group, this one at the top. So all of the subtests are listed here on the right or on the left side. And the next column here is where it says the total number of items on each test. So this just shows, like, for reading, there was 108 items tested.
Okay.
And so next will be the raw score, and that is of how many Sophie answered correctly.
Okay.
So in reading, she answered 83, so she answered 83 right out of 100.
Okay.
And so,
So what does that 53 mean
Okay.
under the national percentiles?
the 53 means that Sophie scored in the 53rd percentile of all the students that took the test.
So does that mean she failed? She didn't get higher than 70?
Okay, no, it's like, it doesn't mean that she failed. It just means that she scored better than 53% of the students in the norm group. So if we look at this bell curve right here, we can see the percentile equivalents, and they range from 1 to 99, and so she scored a 53, so that's right above average because 50 here in the middle is average.
Okay, so she did good.
Yeah, she did. So let's keep moving. Look here at the scale score. It's right here. This is the standard score that ranged from 200 to 800. And as you can see here, Sophie scored a 508. And if we refer back to this bell chart again, here she's at 508, so that's right in the middle. So she also, since 500 is average, she scored above average as well. She did good. And so this last part here looks super confusing, but it's actually not as hard or complicated as it looks. It's basically giving or taking a few points from the score to say she had a bad day, like maybe she had a headache or she was tired. So it's giving her 3 or taking away 3 points, just so you can see maybe how she did if something like that happened the day that she was testing.
So with the 53rd percentile, she could have been in the 56th or the 50th.
That's exactly
Okay.
right. And that's what this circle line thing is going to show you.
Okay.
So I do want to point out basic battery right here, because this is kind of like, sounds weird. It's not your typical subject.
Mm-hmm.
So here it has like these language, listening, spelling, and science and social studies. And then the basic battery is like the 3 main subjects that our school really wants to see their results. Like they separate them so that you can just quickly see the math, reading, and writing scores like this, the total. Because those are kind of like the most, I'm not saying the most important, but like those are the test scores that they care about the most.
Okay.
So we covered this top portion. Do you have any questions?
I'm okay right now.
Okay. So if you have any confusion, please do stop me.
Okay.
Let's move down here to the criteria reference. Again, this is a portion that it gives more information on the scores of the specific skills tested.
Okay.
And if you look here at the columns, these skills are broken down into the first, Then the RS stands for the raw score, which right here we saw that meant how many she got wrong.
Okay.
And
So that's what the raw score means.
raw score means that's how many she got wrong. And then the MP stands for the number possible. So it's kind of like number 5.
Okay.
And so let's start with a high score, which right here it seems like she did really well in capitalization. She answered 11 correct out of 12 possible questions.
So basically that was testing her knowledge of capital letters?
Yes, exactly. It was testing her to see if she knows when to use one, like, for example, at the beginning of a sentence or a proper noun or something like that.
Okay, so she did good on that test.
Yes, she did do good on that test. She does very well with that in her journal, also in class. I noticed that she's always capitalizing proper nouns, like whenever she talks about her brothers and sisters, and even her pets, like they always have a capital letter in their name, which is really good.
Okay, that's good that she's doing that.
Yes.
So what does this X mean?
Okay, so here's like low, medium, high, and that X means that she scored high on that skill.
Okay.
The criteria there to score high, medium, or low is set by a panel of test professionals, and like they're different for every test. So I can't really explain like why 8 out of 11 scored high, you know, or 10 out of 10 obviously is 100, but I can't really explain it to you because the criteria is set different for every test by this set of professionals.
Okay.
So, are there any subtests that you don't understand in this column?
Well, what does it mean if she scored low? Like, she scored low here in history.
Okay.
So does that mean that...
Well, I circled these 60s for you. The main reason that she scored low in history was because she didn't really have much room for a mistake. There was only 6 questions tested.
Okay.
And, like here, she got 4 answers correct. So that she only missed 2, which since there was only 6 questions, that bumped her down super low.
Okay.
Which that was just unfortunate that there was only 6 questions. But she does know a lot about history, and she's super interested in the presidents, and she always checks out books actually in the library about history and stuff.
Okay.
So you can see actually here in her portfolio that she scored really well on the social studies test we took during the 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And she is doing good in history, so.
Okay, that's funny. Her brothers also love history, so she probably hears a lot from them.
I bet that she gets it from them. So since she did miss those 2 out of the 6, I have some fun history websites that have like some games and test-like information and questions and stuff that I will definitely send home for her to play.
Okay.
And also in class, I'll have her do some research on history topics and stuff just to get some extra practice.
Okay.
We actually do have a research project coming up that she can knock out some history research to practice that.
That sounds good. I'd love to hear about the website.
Yes.
It's definitely something we'll do at home.
Perfect.
For sure.
That's great. So before we end, I do want to point out her scores in the vocabulary section. She scored 16 out of 18, which is awesome. She was struggling a little bit with vocabulary at the beginning of the year. So she's improved tremendously, and I'm so excited to see that she scored high here. And also, if you look here in her portfolio, her weekly vocabulary test over the school year, they have been increasing tremendously. I'm super proud of her.
I am happy to hear that because she does a lot of vocabulary practice at home.
Yes, it's helping. That's great y'all are doing that. Do you have any other questions about any of these skill areas or anything else related to the test scores?
I think you covered a lot, and now I get a better understanding of what all that means.
Perfect.
So thank you
it's
for
kind
your
of
time.
confusing. I was even overwhelmed by this at first. So
Yeah.
She's a great student, Sophie, and I'm super proud of her. And if you have any other questions, please feel free to call me or email me.
Okay.
We're here for you.
Awesome.
Thank you for coming.
You.